I get messages all the time asking me how I went from $100,000 in bad debt to a $13 million portfolio. By watching this show every week, I will share exactly how I did it, how I achieved it, and the lessons that I've learned along the way. So do me a favor and please subscribe to our channel. It's simple, it's free, and it helps keep the show going for you. This is where you eat and we talk about changing the way that you think about money, with insights from successful investors, entrepreneurs, and everyday people taking control of their financial futures. So double check that you're subscribed, and thank you for being part of this journey. Welcome everybody to the Lunchtime Investor Show. Here in the studio, myself, Marcus, and we have Dennis Sellström all the way from Sweden, our head trader at Investment Mastery. Welcome, Dennis.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Always, always, always. And remember, the Lunchtime Investor is about one thing, and that's you eat and we talk. So this episode is how to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Now, before I ask you what you think about that, this isn't about, people that are really, well, it could be scraping by, but it's also, professionals who have got a really good job, but they also have huge expenses as well, living paycheck to paycheck, even if the paycheck is big.
Yeah.
It's both.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I think it's I think it's somewhere everyone starts, but then I think it's, you need to learn how to do it properly if you want to have.
To do what? Sorry, to do what?
To live a different life. To go away from living paycheck to paycheck, because I think that living paycheck to paycheck, it happens, and that's how we taught in school.
But isn't that what everybody does? If all your friends are living paycheck to paycheck, why would you do it differently? Why?
Exactly, you wouldn't, because that's the way you're taught that it's done. You get a job, you get a better job, and then you get a bigger house, bigger car, more dogs, cats.
With you, it's cats, I think.
It could be, right? So I think that's the thing. And then at the end of the day, you have to also see your pension. Then you realize, like, shit, it might not be enough.
Are we allowed to swear on the show? I'm not sure. We'll have to ask. Yeah. Anyway. So, is that what you think about it?
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Sure, right? You don't. But what if there is suddenly an emergency and you cannot save your friend's life because you just don't have the money? You say, "Yeah, it's really nice knowing you."
Yeah, of course. That for me, I mean, I don't want to live that way, but I can't speak for everyone, of course. But I think it's a matter of you need to be aware of it. First step to change is awareness, as you always say.
That's right. So, the thing is that income seems to be a trap, keeping you in the system, right? And with inflation, everything is getting more expensive. And, this salary security is a bit of a myth, because if you only have one pillar, it doesn't matter how big the pillar is, something could happen. It might be that you lose your job. It might be that they downgrade you. It might be that they move you somewhere you don't want to go to. It might be that there's something wrong with the company. So for me, always a second pillar minimum. And so how an extra pillar or income stream, I guess, that is really what gives you real financial freedom, in my opinion. What are your thoughts there?
No, I absolutely agree with you 100%. And we saw it clearly under Corona, when that happened, where a lot of people did lose their jobs, and it got really tough, and the interest rates went up. And I think in UK, I don't remember if it was exactly 1 out of 5 families that had to skip a meal or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
1 in 5 families had to skip a meal.
Yeah, I think Gabriella said that, so don't quote me on it, but something around it. And then, of course, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I got this realization when I was a tour guide many years ago, and I had 30 to 40 new guests every week. And I asked all of them, or many of them at least, what do you do? Are you happy with what you do? And most people said, well, it's okay. They were comfortable, right? And I said, I don't want to live a life like that, where I'm comfortable, and I want to live a life of abundance in that way. So I wanted to have more. So, and that's where I realized.
Is that greedy for wanting more? Does that make you a bad person, not to be grateful for what you have? But you were a tour guide, I think you were a ski instructor, now you're a head trader at Investment Mastery.
Yeah. So I did a career change. Yeah, no, I don't think, I mean, it depends on the way you see it. I think you become more of what you are. So if you are greedy and you keep everything for yourself, you become more of it if you have more money. But if you are generous and before, you're going to become even more generous. So no, I don't think money has anything to do with it. I think the more money you have, my belief is the more money you have, the more people you can help.
So absolutely. So you're saying, getting out of this paycheck to paycheck kind of like cage that people are in, it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing at all. I think getting out of it is something everyone should strive for, because then you get choice.
Can everybody do it? That's the question.
Yes.
Yes.
I
You
think
said that without even hesitating.
Yeah, because it's a skill like everything else. If you can, I mean, it's not a skill really to watch Netflix a couple of hours a day, but if I think,
I mean, a habit, maybe.
yeah, habit maybe, right? But anyway, it's a skill that you can learn. You can learn how to make more money. I surely did.
You know, I thought about this the other day, though.
Yeah.
You say everybody can learn how to drive, right? But can everybody, you see, I mean, I'm sure there's some people, actually, my father doesn't drive.
There are
So not
yeah.
everybody can do it.
No, but 99% can.
I think more.
Yeah, and I think it's about the choices you make. I mean, I think there's very few people, and I would love to challenge people on that, in the comments as well. How many people actually knows how much money goes into their bank account and goes out, and how much control do you have of it? Most people,
But I can just imagine somebody. This is why I made, because somebody could be listening to that going, you guys, you're rich and you don't understand how we live. And that's why I said it's not only this episode about those people, it's also about people who are really earning good money, but they are still paycheck to paycheck. They really, really are. Why don't we do this? Why don't we ask the audience? Let's do a poll. Do you currently live paycheck to paycheck? By the way, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing right with that. It just is, right? So either A, yes, most months I struggle. B, sometimes, depends on the expenses, they might go up a little bit. Or no, I save and invest consistently, regularly. Okay? So what did it used to be for you? Just like while people are answering.
Well, in the beginning, it was definitely A. I mean, I did even lose all the money, including my family's money as well. So it was definitely A.
Yeah, but that's what you were trying to do, C. You started investing and trading and you were losing all the money.
Yes, because I looked for a shortcut. I just wanted to make it happen and become wealthy overnight.
But these guys here, A, they don't have enough money to invest.
Yeah. No, well, and that was me afterwards, right?
Oh, so basically it was your parents that gave you money to invest. It wasn't.
No, it was my money as well.
Oh,
in the beginning, it was. I lost 70% approximately of my money and family's money as well. Not all of this. They gave me a little bit, but it was pretty much my money. I lost most of it. So I might have had 4,000 afterwards. But I think where I have gone wrong, and I think many might do as well, is I just didn't have a long-term game plan for it. I was so impatient, want to be rich tomorrow, didn't have the patience to really do it properly. But as soon as I did, and I definitely underestimated what I could do in a couple of years. When that happened, I didn't think I would ever make back the money to pay back my parents.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, but of course.
It's really interesting because some people come to us and they say, I want to make an extra 1,000 or 2,000 a month. And we say, well, great. Well, how much money do you have to invest? 2,000. And so it's like, whoa. So you want to double your money. So you want to make 100% every month. You've got 2,000. You want to make 2,000. And people don't work it out. It's just like, some people don't have money, want to be a millionaire tomorrow. It's just like, just I know you're in that situation and I feel really sorry, but it does take time. You have to do it consistently. That's why C, I save and invest consistently over time will work. Now, what we want to do now is we want to listen to this gentleman here and see what he has to say about that. So if we can just play the video, that would be great.
Now let's talk about the big one, living paycheck to paycheck. It doesn't mean you're irresponsible or lazy. It usually means your bills are too big for your income. You've got zero wiggle room. You're reacting instead of planning. And nobody ever taught you how to manage money in a way that works in real life. It's not about discipline. It's about capacity. If your checking account is in a constant state of don't check me unless you want to cry, that's not a personal failure. That's a broken system. And you're just stuck inside it.
Ooh. So he's also saying that it's a system and it's not necessarily your fault.
Yeah.
It's like you're in the system and a broken system and you're stuck inside it. What do you think about that? That it's the system that's got you. It's not your fault.
Absolutely. I do absolutely agree with that. To some extent, I think it's good to take responsibility as well. But no, I think so. Like in school, at least in Sweden, we don't learn anything about personal finances. We don't learn even how to pay a bill.
Well, how come you got out of it then? If we were all in the system, like the Matrix, then who escapes? Nobody escapes.
I think, well, now when I think about it, right, I think it has to do with the people you surround yourself with. First, it was my mom. She said you should invest in stocks, right? And she showed me a little bit how it worked with her limited experience. I ended up losing the money as a consequence, but at least
Very good.
it woke I started to understand that there's another world out there. Then when I was a tour guide, I met someone. He gave me the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and he had that mindset. So then I read that, and that started the journey for me, really. So I think it was because the people I met and the people I had around me that led to it. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask
So
you...
so there's a system, right,
Yes.
which is broken,
Yeah.
and people are stuck.
Yeah.
But there are ways out. Is
Yeah.
what is what you're saying. So it's not like a foolproof system that you can't escape of. I think that's number one. The second thing is, what's this thing about? It's not discipline. It's capacity. That's what he said. He said it's not a problem with discipline. People have discipline. It's capacity. Capacity of what? Capacity of time. Capacity of. We were talking about it, with the producer before. I mean, he says, well, it's capacity of like intellectual capacity. Can they actually? Do they actually know that they can escape, etc.? What is this capacity thing?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of that. The way I understood it as well is that the capacity thing of how much money you're getting in versus how much money goes out. So I think
You can't control that. You can't control
can control
spending
it.
less. Then
You
you have
can.
more capacity.
Yeah, exactly. You need to
You could
control
add
the
more
capacity.
value to your boss. I remember when you started here, you kept saying to me several times a day, even at 10 o'clock at night, is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything, I got this message up, is there anything I can do? So it's like when it comes to, who do we want to promote? Who do we want to give more to responsibility? It was always Dennis. So I don't know, man. There's a bit of, I get it. You say to people, hey, it's not your fault. Come on my course, I'll help you. I said, well, actually, you've got to take some responsibility here, even if it's 50-50.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you take responsibility or not, life will happen to you anyways. It's not fair.
So hold on, life happens to you, you believe?
No, it happens for you. I mean, it depends how you see it. But what I mean is, what's going to happen to you will happen regardless. So even though you blame others, or if you take responsibility, it's the same. It's not fair. But if you take...
Well, I don't get that. What do you mean? You're going to get the same result even if you take responsibility?
No, not the same results. But what I'm trying to say is that if you take responsibility, no matter what it is, you can always take responsibility for your how you act and how you handle situations, no matter what happens to you in life. And of course, you can control many things that happens. But for example, part of life is that you will fail many times.
Yeah.
And you cannot control when that is. I think the average entrepreneur fails 7 businesses before they succeed. So you can't control which ones they are, but you can control if you give up or not. You can take responsibility for that. So that's what I'm saying, that everyone goes through hardship, but how do you react to it? And it's the same here. I mean, people can blame that it's tough and hard, but it's not going to change the situation unless they take responsibility.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But let me ask you as well, how did you... So you were also in...
By the way, are you sure about 7 businesses? That sounds like...
Sweden. We're not as good in...
I see.
So I think it was a Swedish stats that we got.
7 businesses, but that's some people that make it the first time. That means you've got somebody else who just doesn't succeed 14 times.
Maybe, but it could also be you have some ideas, you try it a little bit, or it didn't work, and then another one, and then another.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean
Ideas,
maybe.
Okay, go on.
And you started. But I wanted to ask you, because you were an A as well. You lived paycheck, and in fact, you were a lot in debt as well.
Yes.
And where did it change for you, and what actions did you take to make it change?
Very simple. When I had enough pain. When I was on my brother's floor sleeping on a mattress, which I had to fold up every day and, put my pajamas and stuff in his filing cabinet, and obviously in the evening my underpants and stuff in his filing cabinet, and a bright green sleeping bag. At that stage you just go, okay, I need to make a change now. This is getting ridiculous now, and thank goodness that happened to me earlier in life, rather than later in life. And that kind of thought of, I never want to get anywhere near that, still drives me. I'm still a little bit pain driven. I'm more pleasure driven now as well, but definitely still a little bit pain driven. People don't have enough pain, maybe. Okay. Right, because all their friends, right? Think about it. They surround themselves with people who are just like them. They can bitch, moan, etc., and so forth. I'm being a little bit tough love here, right? I'm doing this a bit on purpose, because it's like, well, they're in the same position, so it's okay, Instead of saying, do I really want this for myself, or maybe don't make it about yourself, because as soon as you have kids, you then think, now I need to do something. Why? Because you will do more for other people than you would do for yourself. So you would be fine living on your floor and your brother's floor because you have no expenses, it's because your brother's paying for it. But as soon as you have children, everything changes. Now you really need to do something. So I think people need to make their pain even worse than it really is, so they don't really feel it later on in life. And they may need the pleasure that you're looking to get to even better. But people don't want pain. So what they do is they mask it by drinking too much, eating too much, watching too much Netflix to get rid of the pain, and it makes the situation no better, even worse.
Yeah, but this is the way that we are being taught as well in a school and by most parents. I mean, that's life. Being in the
Depends who you listen to, right? You said somebody gave you a book, but you decided to read that book.
Yeah,
A lot of people are given books, but they don't read the book.
yeah.
And this was, I mean, I have to tell you, Robert's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, changed my life as well. That was the first personal development book I read. I went, this is freaking amazing.
Yeah, same here.
It was just like that. So if you haven't read that book, definitely read that book. That's all I'm saying. So what do you think about this kind of like living paycheck to paycheck doesn't mean you're irresponsible. It means the system is stacked against you. I get it. It is stacked against you, right? But I have a challenge against that. If it's stacked against you, all that means is you're going to have to push a little bit harder.
Yeah, because if you say that it's stacked against you, you're putting the blame on them. That's where I went back to what I said before. The sooner we take responsibility for it, that we can make a change. As an example, during COVID, that was the worst time for so many people. But for us who invested, it was a great time. In many ways it was really bad, but you could turn it into an opportunity because there were so many stocks, cryptos went through the roof during that time. But of course, if you blamed it on the government or whatever, what would change? Nothing. So there's always opportunities and there's always way to make things work. And sometimes, as you always say, it's also about the people you surround yourself with.
I think it's generally about the people.
Yeah.
If people ask me, so what's the fastest way? Right, the fastest way after you have the awareness that you actually need to do something is your environment. There is no doubt about it. There's no single way. So, for example, we have Taylor here who's just joined, right? And he was the person who made £350,000 profit or something for his family. He won an award, and I said to him, "My goodness, you're 18 years old. Come and join us." He's 19 now, right? And we have this thing where if I eat any cake in the office, I have to do 100 press-ups. I haven't eaten a cake in the office since he joined. Why?
Yeah.
I don't want to do 100 press-ups. I mean, I don't mind doing 100 press-ups, but not all at once, right? And so it's your environment. And so just really think about that. What about this one here? Maybe we can show this. And can we show this one? Living paycheck to paycheck is exhausting, says this person, right? And it says, "I'm just tired." That's a bad start, because he's already giving up. "My rent was up 30% this year." Now, for a start, I don't get that. Whose rent goes up by 30%? Does that mean that this person has moved somewhere? Was that a choice? You don't hike up 30%. You might do 5, 10, 15, 20%, not 30%. Anyway, I don't know. I don't want to judge here. It sounds like I'm judging. "My grocery bill is almost double what it was 2 years ago. I've got a decent job making what used to be good money, but it feels like I'm running just, on the spot, not moving ahead." Yeah, I get that. That's paycheck to paycheck, right? The math just doesn't add up anymore. After rent, utilities, car payment, insurance, food, basics, there's nothing left. I can't save for retirement. I can't think about buying a house. I can't even build an emergency fund. One expected bill and the whole house of cards falls apart. It's interesting. So he kind of admits that it is a house of cards. Yeah. It's like a system rig. That's interesting. "Meanwhile, my company just announced record profits, giving the CEO another bonus." I mean, when you look at it that way, that is unfair, right?
Yeah, that is unfair. Yeah. Well, but life is unfair. I mean, the CEO, what has the CEO done to achieve that bonus? I'm not saying I don't know, right? But I'm not saying this is fair. But maybe that CEO has, like Musk, lived in the factory for 2 years, working 24/7. Okay, is that unfair then?
I absolutely agree. I don't think this person cares too much about that, but that's life, right? So the money will go where the energy is.
And this is my point. I agree, this doesn't seem fair at all, but that is life. It is not fair.
Yeah, but they got 3% raise, right? It says, but they got another, but we got a 3% raise that doesn't even touch inflation. Yeah. But of course, you give 3% to a lot of people, that all adds up. Yeah. Everyone I know is in the same boat. Now here we go. Listen to this. Everyone I know is in the same boat.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
the challenge. The challenge is you only know people who are like that, working full time, some with multiple jobs, still barely keeping their heads above water. You literally, your answer was in your question. That's the problem. The problem is your environment, is the people you surround yourself with. It doesn't make them better or worse people, heart, soul, etc. But if you want to make a change, you cannot hang around those people because that's all they know. And here's the other one, right? I don't want anything crazy, just to be able to get to the doctor without worrying about the bill, maybe take a vacation. And so therefore, your expectations are so low, you're basically hitting this. If your expectation were this, you do something totally different to hit this. So you'll have to do something different to hit this. You'll have to talk to more people. You'll have to try and get a job that earns more. You'll have to make more sales. You'll have to go on commission. You'll have to do more, maybe in the evenings, in the morning. Now, people don't want to do that, of course, but I'm saying that's what you have to do, and you'll probably achieve this. If you go for this, you'll get this. If you go for this, you'll probably get this. So it's just sorry to say, you know.
Yeah, and of course, for everyone sees this, we don't know this person. And it might be a really tough situation, but just looking at this text, it seems like there's a lot that could be done. Like, for example, I believe as well, the first thing I would do is to look at how much time does this person spend on social media, spend on YouTube, spend hanging out with friends, after work, drinking, whatever it might be. What does this person do? How many hours does this person have? I would guess easily 4 or 5 hours a day that this person could spend really providing more value.
But then, of course, this person will say, yeah, but I also deserve to relax now and again.
I get it, but yeah.
Then live paycheck to paycheck.
Exactly, and that's the consequence, right?
Yes.
And it's always the hardest in the beginning, I get that. But what if this person then now go to your CEO who got that bonus and go, listen, I would like to get something like that as well. What do I need to do? Who do I need to become?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
How can I help you, or how can I help the company in order to, because people come for a pay raise, and this is how they would come for a pay raise. They go,
yeah, well, you see it right there. We got 3%, and then they're not grateful. What do you think the company thinks? You're not doing any more work.
So the better question isn't can I have a paycheck? Is what do I need to do in order to get 20%, 30%, 40%, or to earn $1 million a year?
Yeah, and the question you need to ask yourself as well, is it worth skipping a few nights of Netflix a week in order to reach something different or get something different? I love the fact that, if you want to have something different, you need to do something different.
Well, okay, so let's talk about you then. So what hours do you work?
What hours I work?
Yeah, what hours do you work?
I mean,
are you 9 to 5?
No, I'm not. I work. Depends. Some days I start 6:30 in the morning.
Let's say on average.
On average, I would say I work 6 days a week, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I work.
So that's already. Most people don't want to do that.
Yeah, and 8. Let's say on average, I work some evenings, some early mornings, but let's say 8 to 7 or something like that. On average, maybe 8 to 6 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And do you have like a half an hour lunch? Do you have an hour lunch? Do you have like an hour?
When I work, usually
so really
skip breakfast.
Not a lunch either.
No, I skip breakfast. I usually eat while I'm doing emails or I need to watch something or something like that. I'm really quick eater. But yeah, and then so pretty much something like that.
But you're worth millions, and not everybody has to be worth millions, but it would be really good just in case for this person to have an additional 20, 30, 40, 50,000 in the bank just in case.
I read this book now, right?
It doesn't have to be millions.
Yeah, and I read this book on the way here. It was a short version of it, but it was how to become a better person somehow, right? But not a better person, but how you can become more, like reach your potential. And they said, just spend 1 hour a day working on you. 1 hour a day.
So, when you say that, right, to the average person, I know, but the average person, you're going to say 365 times 10, but why did I say times 10? No, 365 hours, exactly.
Yeah.
See, I'm thinking big already. But the average person will say 1 hour a day? I don't even have time to go to the gym for half an hour.
But look at your phone. What are you spending the time on? It's very easily calculated. So do a time study, You can, if you measure for a week where your time goes, you would be very surprised what you do.
I think it's, I think most people would rather just, zone out a little bit and relax because they deserve it because they've worked so hard during the day for this company that's making billions and, just to relax and look at the phone and,
Well, if you want to have something different, you need to do something different. That's all I can say.
That's the bottom line.
But also, I mean, Eat That Frog, who wrote that book? Is it Brian Tracy? No.
Mhm.
Yeah? Okay. He said in the book, there was a woman there, she worked crazy hours. And he coached her to go to her boss and say, listen, I do all these things. It provides zero value. So I'm proposing this.
What provides zero value?
What she did for all that time, a lot of it, right? Because she did a lot of admin work. And that's not her skill. So she said, listen, if I can focus more on this, I'm going to provide more value to the business. I just need help with this. And they agreed on it. So she ended up eventually earning twice as much and working instead of 9 hours a day, just 7 hours a day. And ended up earning twice as much because she switched something. She did something different. So it doesn't need to be work harder. It can also be provide more value and work smarter.
Well, that sounds, that she took control of the situation. So that was more
By being
proactive.
coached as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and she was coached as well.
Yeah.
I think also, just getting down to the details of it, could this person just save? And I know they're saying they don't have a lot of money, it's only 3%, etc. But could you save £100? Start there, £100 a month, £50. It doesn't matter. Just get into the habit.
Yeah.
But don't save it. Learn how to invest it and grow that. Now, after 1 year, you've got 1,200 saved, but you've invested it. Maybe it's worth 1,500. You haven't doubled it, right? But then the next year after that, it would be worth maybe 4,000. Maybe the year after that, that might be worth 7,000. And but over 10 years, you suddenly have that safety which no one has, which is maybe 50,000 to 100,000 in the bank, and you have a skill you can learn for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and that goes into the other part there, which is no safety net, automate your safety net. And that's what you're talking about there. Maybe do £100 a month putting into an index fund or something like that.
Yeah.
And then
so you agree it's not just saving, right? Because we were always taught
Yeah.
study, work hard, save.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
No.
Nowadays, with inflation, you can't just save. You have to invest it. You have to outpace inflation. And let's just say 7%. I know it goes up and down, but let's just say you have to make more than 7% a year. That is a non-negotiable 7% a year.
And funnily enough, that's pretty much what the market is doing on an average basis, right?
Actually, more. The last 15 years, it's
Yeah.
been over 10%.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's ask everybody, what's stopping you from building extra income streams right now? What's the capacity issue? Is it time? What is it? So A, lack of time. Yeah.
Okay.
And everybody does think that it is lack of time. They go, I don't have the time. B, I used to say that. B, a lack of money.
Yeah.
I don't have the money. I don't have the money.
Yeah.
Okay. C, I don't know where to begin. Right. Ask then. D, fear of risk, fear of failure. That's a big one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's risky not doing anything, I have to say. So go ahead, please, and cast your votes. Is it A, B, C, or D? What was it when you first started?
It was actually E.
Huh?
It's not even on there.
Which is?
Lack of education.
That's
Like-
C. I don't know where to begin.
Okay, fine. Okay, I see that.
See, he
Okay.
thinks out of the box.
See, yeah. So that was it for me because I thought it required so much time and
But you did it, and you lost 70%. Congratulations, by the way.
I appreciate that. Thank you. No, but no, and that, yeah, and fine. That's true. But I didn't know. I just tried to do whatever it took to learn it, which was I did the wrong things, and I didn't have the right environment. I didn't know one around me that knew how to do this
Until
I met you.
dun, dun,
But
dun.
yeah, but the point is, like, now I spend maybe 30 to 40 minutes a week on investing to make 20 to 40% a year, depending on the market a little bit, but on average 30 something. So it doesn't take a lot of time. So I think the lack of time is more of, it's just lack of an understanding what it takes.
Of
or a
course, but
failure.
listen, a lack of time, there's no such thing. We all, you say, I have a lack of time. Well, I have 24 hours. You have 24 hours. How can you have a lack of
I
time?
agree.
You somehow have less than me? It's not a lack of time. There's no such thing.
Prioritize.
It's there's no such thing as time management. It's self-management,
Yeah.
right? But obviously, you don't know what you don't know.
That is so true. I absolutely agree. So for me, it definitely was, I don't know where to begin. What was it for you?
I always say I don't have the time.
Yeah.
Well, it was probably all of those, to be honest. It was a mixture of all of those. I didn't even think of the risk and the failure, actually. No, it was all of those, but yeah, A, B, and C for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at this. I don't know whether we can show this, but there's some limiting factors and our solution to each one. So lack of time, if you have this, is, you say, I'm too busy. Well, you don't need hours. You can build wealth in just 20 minutes a day with the right system. So do you think people would have 20 minutes? Because some people commute on a train. So there you go. Do it on your phone right there and then. You can do stocks, you can do cryptos on the phone.
Yeah, no,
Because people
absolutely.
think that you're trading, in and out. And they go, I don't want to do that. Well, you don't do that. I don't do that.
Well, let's look at the math. When you go on the train or the bus or whatever, if you walk and someone's waiting, what are people doing?
I don't know, listening to something, probably music. I don't know.
Well,
Radio.
in Sweden, when you see people, everyone sits on their
Eating
phones.
meatballs.
They're meatballs, yes, and they're also looking at their phones, right, and watching YouTube, social
Yeah, the YouTube
writing.
shorts.
Yeah, and then 20 minutes, pyong, has gone, right? So no, I think everyone has time, as you said, right?
Yeah.
So we just need to build a system.
What if somebody says I don't have the money? I don't have enough savings to invest. What do you want me to invest? I don't have anything. What would you say to that?
It is tough with the motivation if you don't have a lot of money. I mean, in my first year, I think I made £100 or something after I lost the money. So, I mean, it's like, really? But then if you have the right people around, it will work.
But for me, it's start investing with small amounts. It's not in your first year, you're not looking to make a lot. You're starting to learn a skill so that you start with small amounts. And that can quickly add up, by the way. What about this? I don't know where to begin.
Yeah, but it's interesting as well, just to circle back quickly to that, because people don't say that, I need to do this quickly when they go to university for 3 years to get a bachelor degree. They know it's 3 years. But here, 20 minutes a day, no. It's a bit interesting when you put it in perspective. But I don't know where to begin. I get it. And especially if you go to YouTube nowadays, it's crazy because there's so much there and everyone says different things. So it is tough to know where to begin. But I mean, I would definitely start by, of course, we have, I suppose they can reach that somewhere here, free master classes and stuff, so you can learn from us a little bit. But you need to find someone, I think, that has done it before you, that you resonate with, and I think that would be the easiest way.
Has done it before and can prove that they have the results, right? Okay, and then fear of risk and failure. But what if I lose it all? I hardly have anything, so now you want me to put it in there, and then I lose it all.
Well, I think that's lack of knowledge. I think fear comes from not knowing what's going to happen. Like, we know for a fact, if you trade, if you use proper risk management, the maximum you can lose is 1%.
Correct.
So we know it's not risky to trade. It's not the vehicle.
On any one trade, yes.
On any one trade, correct.
But you're looking to make a lot more, so you're not always going to lose either, right? So let's say you have 5 trades on. The maximum you can lose is 1% plus another 4%, so it's 5%, but you're looking to make 15. So
yeah, but I get that, but I think it's a lack of knowledge. That's it. You just need to learn that it's not risky, and then that's fine.
Absolutely. And when we diversify as well, we're hedged across many different asset classes. So therefore that lowers the risk even more. And the other thing is, when something goes down, it's a paper loss. It's not actually a loss.
Yeah. And we have, exactly. And we have so many people, by the way, in our community that came with these limiting factors and has now completely switched it around. And now they don't need to live paycheck to paycheck. They have choice instead. And
absolutely. And most of them were beginners. And as you say, they had at least 1 or 2 of these. And hell, I did as well. I had 3 of them. Apparently, he only had 1. But
I probably had all of them as well. But
okay, let's have another one. For you. Let's have your vote on this one. What's the number one way that you think you can escape living paycheck to paycheck? And again, this isn't like, we're talking about scratching, the poor people scratching. This is literally people who are earning a lot of money. But like you say, they bought a bigger house, more cars, the children came along, blah, 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 etc. and so forth. And suddenly it's paycheck to paycheck. So is it A, work harder at my job? You could do that, right? Could work harder. Build multiple income streams and invest? Could do that. Cut down expenses? Or D, rely on luck? Okay, really. Rely on luck. D. What do you think? D?
I would do a combination of A, B, and C. I would cut down expenses. I would start building the multiple income streams. At the same time, I would maybe not necessarily work harder. You can do.
Then let's choose one.
Great. I would do B. That's where I am right now.
Okay, so actually, funnily enough, I disagree with you. Because the very, very first thing you should do is C.
But that's what I would do.
Yeah, but we don't.
I've already done C.
Okay, fine. No, but you're right. There's no wrong. There's no right or wrong. But the very first thing you do, but you can only do it once.
Yeah.
And that is the fastest ways to cut down expenses.
I agree.
But you can only do it once, right? Yeah. After that, it's like, can't do it again because you already cut to the bone, right? So that's the fastest way. Then what is it that you can do? Well, it has to be, It has to be, yeah.
Yeah, well, it depends on where you are, but
A,
then
B.
it could be A, which is work harder, so you get more money, and that's going to make B easier and more
So it's A,
achievable.
B. So it's C and then A and B.
Yeah, and then D at the end. No, okay, fine. But work harder.
Well, I mean, there is a little bit of luck in everything, right? A
I
little
think
bit.
the harder you work and the more you do, the luckier you get.
The more you practice, the luckier we get.
Yeah. But A is interesting because it might not necessarily need working more hours. It just might be a conversation.
Might be smarter.
Go to your boss, say, hey, how can I provide more value?
Mm-hmm.
What is the skill set you're looking
So what if your
for?
boss said, all right, great. By the way, I would love it if more people did that here. In fact, we have had people do that here.
Yeah.
And then they say, okay, if you bring £1 million revenue into the business, I'll pay you more money.
Mhm.
What would you say to that?
I mean, I would say it's great, of course.
Yeah. So I'll just pay you more. So I'll write you out a check for a couple of grand more.
If I bring $1 million in.
Yeah, if you bring $1 million,
Yeah.
I'll give you a check for 10,000. Let's shake on it right now.
No, I would probably. Well, you can do, right?
That's
But-
rude. Come on, let's shake on it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Okay, we can shake. But no, but I think there's two things. You can either cut down expenses in the business, I suppose, and get a percentage, or bring in more money,
percentage.
maybe.
So percentage.
But there's
So if you can negotiate a percentage of that
Yes.
million, because it's extra.
yeah.
So don't give me a
You
check
don't
for
have-
10,000. Like let's have a percentage of that 10,000.
Exactly. So
Okay?
instead
So
of
I'm giving you 1%.
I appreciate that. Thank you. That's good. Yeah, that's. But it is a negotiate. But I think that's a good starting point because, as you said, next time they are thinking, and they're going to think about you instead of being the next person asking for more money and not asking for, or not asking to provide more value.
It is definitely a different conversation, and now that person is on my radar because I think, ooh, next time we have a project. So, well, I remember Dennis came to me last time. He wanted something which was linked to some kind of a commission. So let's try it with him because you had that conversation. You're now on the boss's radar. So let's devise some kind of an escape plan for people, and then we'll finish
Yes.
this episode.
Step 1:
What is it?
audit your income.
Don't just budget expenses, track your income flow. Sounds boring, budgeting, track.
Yeah,
Are you willing to do what other people aren't willing to do, Dennis, to get the results that other people will never have?
that is. Yes, I would. And the thing is, as well, it's not hard. It will take you an afternoon. It's not like it's.
I
gonna take
know,
an
right?
hour to do.
You would be, I don't know where to start. Just get a piece of paper or an Excel spreadsheet, probably, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's something and write it down. Then you know, first step to change, awareness. Number 2,
Well, I mean, it's probably number 1, but educate yourself.
yeah.
Education is everything because as you grow, you'll know what to do. It's actually so common sense. The only thing is people don't necessarily want to invest in their education.
But I mean, listen, nowadays it's quite interesting. If you went to, for example, AI and you went, hey, I need to budget my expenses and track my income flow,
How do you do it?
how can I do it? Oh, it's easy. You need to da-da-da-da-da-da. No, you just need to do this.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. No, that's true.
Yeah.
What about step number 3? Allocate some money, maybe. Start small.
Yeah. When you budget your income, you go, okay, I don't need this. Now I can start small, maybe £100, and then you can start. I mean, if you call any, broker, I'm not sure, but like eToro as an example, everyone has ETFs you can buy. You can see the performance over the last couple of years, but obviously you need to know. But there's so many, it's quite simple.
What do you mean ETF? Just invest in an ETF?
Yeah, you can index.
But you don't have a strategy. Like if you were to invest and it said it's high, then all it's going to do is fall for the next 2 years.
Fine, but you could do dollar cost averaging. Just do the same amount each month to get an average price over time.
And by the way, if you don't know what that is, then you really need to know.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you can get some information down below or something like that on
Yeah.
our free introductory. It's either a 4-hour or sometimes it's a 6-hour introduction.
Yeah.
Normally on a Saturday, it's live, but online, so you don't have to move anywhere. And bring your family because you'll be surprised how simple it is, how simple these strategies are. You're going to kick yourself that you didn't start earlier.
Yeah, and you will learn the strategies. You can literally apply the strategies after the session, which
absolutely.
is great. And then I think number 4 is so important. I think and the same in the gym and everywhere, just be consistent. Just keep going. And I think people will be surprised. And the cool thing is, the more you do it, you're like, oh, it's actually growing. Let me put a bit more in.
And then more money, which you didn't have apparently, but now you have because you can see it growing. But the other thing is time.
Yeah.
Now you start focusing on that instead of doing other things that are wasting your time. And then guess what happens? It just grows and grows and grows and grows.
Yeah, exactly.
But what's important here is discipline and consistency. And then there's that word again, discipline. It sounds like, I need discipline now.
and which will make it a lot easier if you go with a friend, right? And you say, hey, should we do this every on Sunday?
To keep each other accountable.
Exactly. Like you have going to the gym. If we're meeting at the gym, then I'll go there so much more often.
Of course, because the other person expects you to.
Yeah, and
What if the other person actually picks you up to go to the gym? You would go, right?
And if we are doing that as an example, you would not feel to go to the gym. I would not feel to go there, but you will go there because you promised me, and I will go there because I promised you.
Absolutely, yeah.
But none of us feel like it, but we'll still show up.
We'll still show up.
Yeah, so it's just
Pretty cool.
But if you have the wrong people, if we are gonna go to the gym, but with the wrong people, we're gonna listen. Let's just watch Netflix and eat ice cream tonight. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, you can watch Netflix and
Okay.
while you're working out.
Well, you could do, but so that's
Yeah, you could do on a treadmill, I guess. Okay, so if you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, then register today for our free one-on-one. What is this? The free one-day stock market masterclass. It is coming up this weekend, September the 13th, right? So it's a full one here. So from 10 a.m. to 4:30, it's a full training with myself. And you are going to love it. And you're going to be able to take action immediately after that because we teach you the strategies.
Yeah, that's how I started my journey of turning 4,000 to become a millionaire, actually.
Yeah, you're at 1.5 at the moment, right?
Yeah.
We just gave you an award for $1 million, but you're way past that. So we'll have to have a new award now. Dennis, honestly.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. So the link is in the chat below. Make sure that you are there. And I look forward to being able to serve you and getting all your questions answered. Bring your family. The younger, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. Have people around you that support you on the journey.
But stop living paycheck to paycheck. Thank you very much. Final thoughts are, escaping a life of living paycheck to paycheck isn't about earning more. That's what most people think. Earn more, work harder. It's about utilizing your money better.
Yeah, and being disciplined and stay consistent.
Yeah, I think so. It doesn't really need much discipline, for heaven's sake, because it's just a few minutes a day.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. You know what we always say? If we can do it,
they can do it.
Absolutely. And never quit. All right. See you on the next Lunchtime Investor Show. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you, Mark.